Welcome everybody back to Dell's Dishes. Glad to have you guys back, and if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. Today it's football season and we're going to do pork belly burnt ends. We're also going to do some pork butts, but today just for this video it's going to be super short, super quick, how to have a nice, tasty, delicious, moist treat to share with your friends or your family that are going to be over watching the game. Or if not football, whatever events you're going to be spending time with your family with. Today's going to be a really short video. We're going to get it, we're going to use sriracha as a binder, get that in there, and then we're going to use the gospel from Meat Church. We're going to get it on there. We're going to let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes to let it pull some of that moisture out, get embedded in the meat. Then we're going to get it on the Masterbuilt 560 today. We're going to start it out about 275. We're going to let it go for about 2 hours before we start playing around with it. We want to make sure that these guys are going to be probe tender. So as soon as you stick the instant pin in, or that thermometer that you have, it should just go right through like butter. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then once we have it all done and we pull those bad boys off, we want to get a nice glaze adhered into our meat. So today we're going to use Sweet Baby Ray's Sweet and Spicy. As you can see, it's something that we had in the fridge, so we're using up what we've got. We're going to use a little bit of butter, probably about a half stick. We'll cut it into fours, lay it out there. We're going to use foil today to make sure that we get all those juices cooking on each other as a nice braising liquid. Now we got something else today. While we've had it for a little bit, I've tried it. It's Mike's Hot Honey, extra hot. If you're familiar with Mike's Hot Honey, you're gonna know how amazing it is. The extra hot is even better to give it that extra little kick. And then we're gonna add a little bit of brown sugar on there just to give a little bit of sweetness. We're gonna get those all mixed in together. So again, that's what we're gonna do today on Dell's Dishes. So let's get cooking. All right guys, we're back. We've got a 7.5 pound pork belly here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get it trimmed up just a little bit. Cut these straight lines, or as straight as you can. And then you wanna cut them into about 1-inch cubes. As they are cooking, they will render down and they will start to shrink on themselves. So you just wanna make sure you don't cut too small of pieces. So let's just get cutting into this. And making sure that you have a sharp knife will make quick work of this, as we have seen here. So we're gonna save this for later. All right. Let's actually get this turned around a little bit here. We should be fine with that. So we're gonna say that this is gonna be about 1 inch and cut a little bit more than that. And this one's going to be kind of right in the middle. So we may just make these to be just a little bit bigger pieces. All right. Get these turned around. And then you want to just kind of go back here. All right, so you want to cut them up just like you're seeing me do here. I'm going to get the rest of these cut up and we'll be back in just a second. All right, what we're going to do is that we're going to add all of our pieces that we have cut up here. We're going to add them into a bowl, which will just make it a little bit easier to toss. We're going to add our sriracha in there, then we're going to get them back out to make sure they all get coated on all sides, and then we're going to add that gospel to it. So we're just going to add a few of these at a time to make sure that we get full coating everywhere. right, guys, now that we got our sriracha and our binder on there, we're gonna use the gospel. We're gonna make sure that we get these coated on all sides. We're gonna make sure they're coated very liberally across there, and then we're gonna let them sit for 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll get them on our grate to go out there on the smoker. And again, you wanna make sure that you cover them very liberal on all sides to make sure we impart that good flavor all the way throughout. All right, we've got them all seasoned up. We're gonna let them sit out here for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're gonna get them onto our rack and get them on the smoker. All right, guys, we are back. It's been about 2 hours. We've taken them off. They have a wonderful color. You can eat them like this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to sauce these up and get them just that sticky icky that a lot of people love when they're eating their burnt ends. So what we did today is we took some Sweet Baby Ray's, I know it's upside down, I'm trying to get the last little bit out of there. Sweet Baby Ray's hot and spicy. We added to that some Mike's hot honey, the extra hot. We added, if you remember from my last video, we had some red curry paste, which is a little bit of that secret sauce. We're gonna add a little bit of butter, and we'll show you that as we're adding that to the pan. And so what we did is we added the pineapple juice, the barbecue sauce, the honey, the curry, and we mixed it all together, which cuts it down, the barbecue sauce, and adds a lot of those other flavors to meld together. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these all into this pan so they can braise for about another 30 to 45 minutes, at which after that, then we'll bring it in and we'll be ready to try to eat it at that point. Okay guys, we are back. And I'm super excited. My wife and I may have snuck a couple of these out of the pan. All right, so what we're gonna do is we have this sauce that we put together. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add that in here. We're gonna add some brown sugar over the top for a little bit of sweetness. And we're gonna add a couple sticks of butter just to help everything kind of meld together. We're gonna cover this with aluminum foil just to help it braise for about 30 to 45 minutes. And then we're gonna bring it back in for the final product reveal. Now what you want to do, and I saw this from Matt Pittman, what he did, is how you want to actually cover it is you want to just have it so that it's covered, but it's not so that it's oozing off. This is going to give it that great flavor, that nice consistency over the top. So again, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to pour this in, and then we're going to toss it around a little bit. And I think that should be just the perfect amount. Because again, you want to cover it and coat it. You don't want them drowning in it. And I'll tell you what, guys, I know you can't taste it or smell it, but these things smell absolutely scrumptious. Honey, what do you think? Okay, thumbs up, but they can't see that. All right, so if you see, and this is only because I've done this a couple times, you can see we got a good amount of covering for all of the meat that we have in there. There's a little bit of sauce on the bottom. Again, it's gonna cook in that. And so now we just wanna kinda spread them out a little bit. We're gonna throw a couple sticks of butter in here, just kinda all over the place here. Like this, and we'll just do one here. And what we use, half a stick of butter. Add some brown sugar, depending on how sweet you want it. You can add it in. Again, I think a little bit of sweetness to go along with some of that spice, you know, offsetting the curry is gonna be nice again. You can use however much you wanna use. And we just want all of that to braise in there together. All right, guys, we're gonna cover this up, get it back on the smoker, and then we'll show you guys the final product once we finished. Super excited, it smells so good. Usually you can let these rest for a few minutes. I'm not going to, I'm super hungry and it's dinner time, so we wanna dig into it. So let's peel it back and see what we've got. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the steam coming off of there or not, but right there, what we have is some amazing looking pork belly burnt ends. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a few of these out of there. You wanna get these out of the braising liquid, and you can let them sit up. A pro tip is you could take these out of the liquid, put them back on there for just a few more minutes. All right, guys, we are back. we've got them up here. I've taken them out of the braising liquid. Right now they're letting all the juices and they're tacking up a little bit. I'm super excited. We have the overhead that I had to get rid of, but I really want to dig into these, but want to get them out of there for you. So what I want to show you guys is just how moist these things are. They taste phenomenal. I've already been snacking on them while we were getting the camera and everything set up. But again, this is something easy that you can do for your friends, your family. These things will come out wonderful and great every single time. Again, so let's just dig into them. Again, here we go. We gotta say our prayer. And literally, they just melt in your mouth. You got all those. We have the binder. You can taste a little bit of that sriracha undertones. You can go through and you can taste all the things that we added. You know, you can taste a little bit of that sweet. You can taste a little bit of that honey hot in there. So there's all these different layers of flavor. One thing that you can do, just one second. One thing you can do is that some of these pieces, the thickness of a fat cap on top was a little bit high, and I didn't cut it down. But if you're interested in taking some of that fat off, again, fat is flavor. However, you know, some of it is kind of thick on there, and so you could have trimmed a little bit of that down. But that's again, to each your own. This is something that's phenomenal. As always, it's dinner time here with us. Thank you guys for watching. Please click like and subscribe to see more Dell's dishes, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay, now it's time to plate this thing up so we can get something to eat. Are you still recording? Oh well, there it is.